have a Claude being banned as well as a Melissa. They want to starve BRAYYY's options in terms of what he has to offer against FMM. And I like the fact that he got rid of Melissa as well as Claude. The AoE option for the side of RSG SG is really scary right now. You have Lolsie as well as 505 who can potentially pull, have that 5-man pull into a wild charge. Right? Following that, we have the Irritel being picked up by BabyCakes. And as we all know, Diablo on this Benedetta is no joke.
Yeah, and the combo coming in from Irritel as well as the Faramis, once you have that call altar, BabyCakes can just go in guns blazing, no pun intended for blazing duet, but in its own right, a glass cannon just shooting in, you have 2 lives. You can break that fall 2 times. And BabyCakes just able enough to get enough time to melt every single one of Slate Esports down. So right now, Slate Esports need to counteract with what heroes do I need for my front line. And now, Adammir as well as Gear potentially do have favorite rights to get at least a fighter or a tank hero to be able to sustain through the damage that they need from FMM and Gear.
Your team
Wow, okay, it's going to be a Tamus as well as a Cho. So, Bray, I think that's a lot of things for him to consider. At this point, right, the win condition for Slate's draft is just a long extended fight. And RSG SG's solution to that is Cult's Altar, right? Sure, we cannot take that long fight because the moment FMM gets his stacks in, he's going to be a huge problem. So it has to be a burst composition from the side of RSG SG. And if that fails, the insurance is the Cult's Altar, and hopefully Lolsie lands a very good Guardian's Barrier into a wild charge as well. That is the insurance that they have. Late game wise, I think it looks pretty good on the side of RSG SG. You have Irritel, who is a monster in damage later part of the game. Diablo can scale really quickly from the mid game once he gets his itemization on top. And wow.
This is something new from Bray. Something new from Bray. I think it's probably his debut as Eamon. But we've seen how powerful with Eamon. So Bray, on the other hand, the child prodigy, I am so excited to see how his hands work on this masterful character right here. Eamon going in. But what I like about Slate's draft is the fact that they are extremely irritating. And I say it's irritating. Irritating is probably an understatement. They're just so annoying. Every single member of Slate Esports has the potential to pull you back into FMM's arms and then wait for that crossbow tang to pop off.
Yep, they evenly match for this.
As such, the drafting stage is now concluded. Slate versus RSG for game number 3. Both compositions are pretty done nutty. We do have a Faramis on one side, and we do have the Cho onto JPL. Honestly, I am terrified of JPL Cho. Which we gotta have to see which team is the one that will really be terrifying their counterparts.
Ooh, but JPL is gonna be playing.
Oh wait, oh yeah, oh they have a Diggy,
position.
right?
Yeah, Adammir is gonna be on that Cho. But I mean, these guys have been playing together for a long time, so Adammir might have got some tips and tricks from JPL himself. And you guys in the audience are able to talk to them after the match as well if you want to learn some tips and tricks. So yeah, jumping straight into the game number 3.
I haven't seen a Thamus in the jungle for the longest time. One thing that you should remember is that Thamus is a crazy jungler. He can invade the jungle and of course steal the buff really easily as well. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we were to start seeing that in a while later or sometimes in the future. But for now, we are going to be definitely looking at a pretty much of a standard rotation coming in from both of these teams. RSG's jungler have already took down both their orange and the purple buff. In the meantime, Slate's Thamus has just reached his orange buff for some reason.
And Diggy right here is already babysitting FMM right from the get-go, just giving him a lot of space. But with this strategy, you are able to push in and win that lane effectively and optimally as possible. But you do have the lack of vision play, which is sorely needed, especially if you have a sort of like paper lineup from side of Slate.
RSG's lineup, they are actually pretty paper if you ask me, but Gear have decided to go on an offensive. Finally on an offensive. His molten size will guide his way through to the lines of RSG. The Guardian's Barrier laid perfectly. Now Gear have no choice but to offend, no choice but to commit into a losing fight.
I didn't know how many shards was that, but it sort of like destroyed the frame rate just for a second right there. But Bray taking down Gear, the battle of the child prodigies, that is.
One thing for sure is over 9,000.
Over 9,000, that is right. But Adammir just annoying Diablo as much as possible. And I'm saying Slate's draft is just annoying as RSG as much as possible, especially in the early stages of the game. Deny them their farm and choke them out. Adammir kicks him back.
Immediately, 5/5 finds himself with half HP, but we do have the Count Altar that's currently available. 2-3 of them are already lost the Count Altar as such. Here, make his way right in between of RSG, immediately popping off the heads of 2 other members. Bray as well as Diablo, unfortunately, would not be able to do much but run away.
A short miscalculation here from the side of RSGSG. They lost the turtle and they lost that battle. They did not lose that too much. The 1.2k gold lead behind, that's not a lot. They can play it safe for just now and then try to build up as much power items as much as possible before going into any fights that you want to take.
Here's the thing about the Thamus pick for the side of Slate. It does have, definitely do have pros and cons coming into this fight. Everyone knows that Thamus is a very brawly hero. You would want to go into the battle and stay at where you are and keep on fighting and hitting over and over again. Your mobility may not be the best of all the fighters out there, but you still have got some mobility, let's not gonna lie here. As such, he is going to be the answer for the Count Altar. Whenever the Count Altar has already been dispelled, that is Gear's time to shine. But unfortunately, when it comes down to really dealing with the pesky heroes that is around the normal game framework, which is the Benedetta, the Irithel, as well as the Amon, it's really tough for the Thamus to even land a hit on them, or rather, yes, you can land a hit, but you can't follow through and commit a finishing blow.
Now, the way to play this is just play safe. Don't overcommit too much. And Diablo over there just tries to get back down.
Yeah. Let's be honest here. It really is Gear's name of the game to just stand tall and fight. He has bought a lot of time, but unfortunately, only now, Seilah and Adammir! Oh, the black shoot! Oh, Bray! And now, because of a wasted ultimate from the side of Bray, this is a Slate time to come in and shine. Adammir doesn't have a lot of HP. The activation ought to take him down.
Diablo is still trying to get back, but RSG lost that battle so much. Gear just so tanky already. 4 minutes into game, moving on to 5, but having 2 kills, and he's going tanky as we speak. Every single second, he's gonna get bigger, he's gonna get better, and he's gonna get stronger. So you don't want to fight him just one. It's very hard to take him down if you don't have any burst potential coming in. And babycakes, he needs time. He needs time to grow up into an adult and try to farm down.
And now the fight for the turtle is now about to begin. The Bray immediately takes the turtle down while the rest of the members from the side of RSG plunges themselves right in the face of Slate, effectively bringing Gear down. And the next one inside is gonna be Adammir, and Diablo makes his swift strike right through his throat.
Now, that fight was favoring RSGSG. Not only to take down that turtle, they took down 2 members of Slate and the top lane turret to get a complete package, a happy meal, so to speak.
A decisive strike coming from RSG indeed. When they know they're gonna have to commit for the turtle, they will commit. And they will see it through after all. We have got the top lane first tier turret already destroyed, and ironically, it's actually for the EXP laner, not the gold laner. In fact, RSG and Slate, they haven't really been putting a lot of attention over to the gold lane at all. And for them as well as babycakes, they have been pretty much been in their own world for the longest time ever.
It's just a little bit of a farm build situation. Just get enough space and time for yourself to farm up. Don't take fights that you don't want to commit too much into, and you don't want to dive under turrets that you can't protect. But with the Call Altar, you need to use it to your full potential. You can do it, and right now the fight is pro.
Immediately with the electro final blow, he's just going to be putting himself around top JPL, but unfortunately the homing missile coming in from the members of RSG, as well as for babycakes. He's going to do so much. babycakes taken down as Slate.
Adammir!
Not going to come back. Adammir comes in from behind. Whale Dragon knocks right down on the Bray. And RSG, they've committed to it with 3 members down.
They lost 4 for the price of 1. 505 got back up because, well, he's a Theramis in that respect, but every single one of Slate was at that. They read RSG like a book.
It doesn't really matter if RSG tries to put on an ambush. There's so many things that Slate could play and so many things that they could do.
But take a look at this. Lolsie initiates the charge, but the time journey remains active and denying them of any crowd control capabilities that they need. And Gear having so much time. FMM popping up that crossbow of Tang in that last moment as well. Adammir just pushing back BRAYYY in the nick of time. Yet securing that 4th kill.
Well, now RSG, they are back and neck with Slate. Both of these teams, or rather none of them, do have an advantage against one another at this point in time. We still have quite a bit of turrets that is currently available, and RSG seems to want to have a bite at the bottom lane turret. With 3 members from the side of RSG jumping themselves around to Gear. The shot ought to bring Gear down pretty darn easily. Adammir comes in from behind. Widow Dragon connecting down to BRAYYY. He wasn't able to get himself away because of the time journey, but Diablo, electric final blow, launches himself right in between our 3 members, forces Seilah to pop off the black shoes, but alas, that is a pretty good fight from both.
That was a bait. Slate wanted to fight that because 1-1 had so much time to farm up top and farm up mid. There's so much gold potential that went over to the hands of 1-1. But in the end of it, Slate manages to secure 1 kill on top of BRAYYY, denying him enough time to farm up. Because right now, I mean, let's face it, we are going to be talking about a long game. And it just boils down to who makes the end game earlier.
Slate, they are doing a very good job in moving, and of course the entire macro of the game right now. And of course the invisible pressure that we are so used to seeing from the side of Diablo is now effectively gone. Lolsie's aggressive nature is not exactly in full display as well. RSG, they are definitely being hindered by the expertise of Slate. They are just experienced. They have faced off RSG once in the regular seasons, and here we are, together with so many other teams out there, such as Evil, Revival, right in between of the breaks, before the regular seasons, they all came back, and now they are showing us their absolute best.
As much as Slate is really successful in a lot of team fights that they take, they need to find a way to take down the objectives, and the objectives are just popping up. Lord is just spawned up. The bottom tier turret is in low health. They need to find a way to take that down, but Diablo is going to be able to run away from that, trying to cut the waves to apply pressure into the side of Slate.
Fast fingers coming from both of these EXP laners. With great mobility comes great responsibility. So to say, you're gonna have to make sure that you are always safe whenever you try to move something. At this point in time, the Thamus is actually at the top lane, so this could actually be a pretty good fight for RSG to try to take the fight onto the Lord while the retribution is no longer here. But Slate, they will probably want to buy as much time as possible. Diablo escapes himself off of the grasp of FMM as well as Gear. But right as we speak, the Lord has been resetted, and unfortunately, that is going to be Thamus joining into the battle. RSG no longer have an edge in terms of retribution anymore.
Seilah does not have his black shoes, but he was just waiting for the right time to burst down anyone who entered that rush. Did you see how many balls he put up? But BRAYYY in this form, just waiting for the right time to engage, and the time is made.
And of course, that is going to be a knockup coming from the side of Lord. And of course, the time journey is of course going to be picked up as well. Gear brings up 5 for 5. Adammir, low HP, stunned by the wild charge. Ring taken down by BRAYYY. As the rest of the member of Slate, they move right down and going to be continuing on across. BRAYYY with a double kill. Back from man with a single of the Lolsie. The rest of the fight continues, and Triple is going to be on the face of BRAYYY.
Fear the Gear. He did a phenomenal job trying to split up the rest of RSG from that backline. And with Diablo alone in the backline, you don't have that flank capability. It looks like RSG is meeting its makers. Slate is taking everything they can right now.
They don't have much. Slate doesn't have much to deal with this Lord, but somehow RSG, they themselves don't have much either. As such, both of these teams have found themselves on a stalemate. They're bumping shoulders and get each other's feet wet. They couldn't just take this Lord just yet. And only 30 seconds more, the Lord will be evolved, and that is where the menacing strike of the Trident will happen. And that is going to be a very conclusive Lord indeed.
Oh, Seilah is dealing so much damage to Lolsie. Just waiting in the brush, waiting for him to go in, and then popping off all the balls. You know how they play. I'm telling you, the side of Slate, their draft is just annoying the heck out of RSGSG. There's nothing that Lolsie can do. He wants to enter the brush, but every time he does, half HP gone. If he enters the brush again, he's pretty much did. So you don't want to deal with that. Every single time you enter a brush, please be sure that you have some backup on.
The roles of dealing with split pushes has effectively been switched between Adammir as well as Gear. Adammir is now going to be the pacemaker. He's going to be the one that finds the initiation and pick up a fight against RSG. And Gear is the one that will stay on the sidelines. And because of that, he will be taken down by a tag duo team of BRAYYY and Diablo, putting the retribution battle from the side of Slate weak.
Let's take a look at the itemizations that's coming in from both teams. 1-1 already built up these steel leggings and have 3 core items. This is a really scary 1-1. Guns from the armory ready to shoot and kill. And this Gear is already buying that Guardian's helmet as well as some sustainability coming in from the Bloodlust X. But hold on a second right here. Diablo in the spot bother tries to get the electrifying blow out of the way. And looks like the Lord is going to be uncontested from the side of Slate.
Oh, maybe not. It is going to be contested, but unfortunately a little bit too late. Retribution will be used, and that is going to be the lock taken. RSG completely retreats themselves with the Cold Altar, ensuring themselves 5-man stack plus the Lord.
This is a very different RSG. Just because of that Lord, they are up in gold. 4K gold lead ahead of Slate. They are able to take down more turrets as we speak because of the fact that they are prioritizing objectives. Objectives. Look at Diablo, always split pushing, always taking down the objectives, trying to separate Slate, trying to make them run around like headless chickens.
Now, the Lord marching up in the top lane. Got his Baron, not gonna do much against Gear, but Gear is a little bit out of position, or is he? Because Lolsie took that opportunity to go over to the upper quad. Oh! The massive damage from the shots! Seilah popped the black shield. He got himself right in the face of RSG. Well, now it's gonna be the Cold Altar gonna be popped right out. They take this opportunity to retreat as the Lord is no longer capable of fighting for them. The rest of RSG took this chance to move on to middle lane, take down the first tier and hopefully the second as well.
RSG is smart. They're
Oh!
never in
Wait,
here, but
Adammir! The Whale Dragon did manage to connect, but at the expense of himself. Is it really worth it? That is gonna be the question. As 4 members from the side of RSG is still rock and rolling. Well, Slate only has 2.
the win condition is shifted for RSG. They are able to take down Gear, and now BRAYYY has enough damage. Did you see how much he dealt onto Gear? He was almost half out, but hold on a second right here. babycakes tries to go in, but BRAYYY, whoa, where did he come from?
He was invisible. He is invincible.
Wait, what happened to Seilah? Wait!
Somehow he found himself taken down. The electro final blow is not the matter at all because babycakes and BRAYYY, they focuses themselves down on the core. But where's the meters? Where's the creep? Nowhere to be found. The creeps are slowly moving in, but unfortunately already way too greedy. With fun. It is way too much for all of us to handle.
5 members down from RSGSG. Lolsie's gonna get up in 5 seconds. Will he be able to defend this? And it's just that the tables are gonna turn from this.
Lolsie's up. 505 Diablo, babycakes, BRAYYY. All 4 of the other members from RSG is slowly swarming in. But with the base Baron in the middle lane, that is exactly what is RSG's mission to make.
What was that?
It is mistake of the
Oh,
century.
man.
RSG had got no creeps and they were desperate for that to be the final push. They wanted to make full use of all of that opportunity. But Gear put himself all the way out in the front, not engaging in the battles of his enemies, but in the battles against the tiny little minions that is supposed to make of their fate.
As the Lord, the enhanced Lord right now is spawned up. We will just have to wait because there's gonna be another Lord dance, the Lord Tango. How will these 2 teams tackle the Lord? It does look like it's just a quiet process. Lolsie is pushing Lord out, trying to start that fight. It's a fight that Slate doesn't want to take.
None of these teams will want to take a fight right now. None of them is willing, and none of them are willing to accept the consequences that may happen in the event that it all falls short. RSGSG they have the composition that allows them to split. But is that really something that they would want to do right now? Is that exactly the idea that will make the game? Or is it exactly something that will push the game to an end? But one thing for sure is that Diablo has got eyes on the gear. It is the one with the retribution, but RSG, they're still being very cautious.
Demon Hunter Sword.
Bottom
already
lane.
built up the gear.
Diablo. He did manage to get himself away from the hands of FMM, but now RSG, they pretty much know that FMM as well as here is no longer here. It is now the time for them to be on the aggressive, but FMM being the 1-1 that he is, he can move real fast. Lolsie puts it down by FMM! And Diablo, he goes for an eye for an eye, brings down the Adammir, but 4 members from Slate is still alive. RSG, 4 members, the retribution, the one that holds on to the retribution is now dead. So now the answer for RSG is to push down the middle lane all by himself. Will it be enough? Is this Diggy and this Lilia be enough? The answer, no, no.
BRAYYY! Immortality being built up. Will he be able to take this FMM on a killing spree? This is a repeat of what Slate went through. Another successful defense with the Lord in their possession. Slate Esports, this is their window. This is their time to shine.
2-man down. Slate has got themselves the advantage while Lolsie tries to hold himself up and out in the very front. The Lord is still staggering behind. He's still not anywhere here just yet. But JPL, the thinking, is taken down. Lolsie himself doesn't have much help to work with. And FMM, he soars into the sky with a crossbow.
Slate Esports, well played. What a defense. What a comeback! What an epic comeback! I need a breather. You guys need a breather. Oh man, what was that?
That was plainly Slate on a tear. They were conducting their own medley of death. You know what they say? RSG Lolsie, he finds the opportunity, but Slate, they create the opportunity.
Oh yeah, amen to that. Amen to that, but everything just tore apart for RSG at the last moment.